Meagan, coming to you live from the streets of San Miguel de Allende. I'm actually at Starbucks because there's not many places here in San Miguel where I can do a live stream, where I can talk at like usual voice without it being obnoxious. Right? I mean, it's obnoxious. Let's not fool ourselves here. It's obnoxious to do live streams out on the streets because you're essentially talking to nobody and people look at you like you are insane. And, you know, if the shoe fits, the glove fits, right? You know, I don't like to promote the buck, but, you know, sometimes we have to do these things, right? So, good Monday morning to you all. I think it's Monday, right? I'm, like, laughing my head off because I just ran into my buddy, Raul. Is he out here? I met him in Mexico City. Like 2 years ago at the Anthropology Museum. We were in Dublin at the same time. We were in Oaxaca at the same time. And now we're in San Miguel de Allende at the same time. He saw me sketching at the Anthropology Museum, and he had his sketchbook too. Now here's the thing. He's from Guadalajara, and he lives there part-time, but he's also married to an Irishman, and they live in Dublin part-time and in Mexico part-time. And every time I see him, he's like, you need to marry an Irishman. I'm like, I wish. I wish it were that easy, right? Is it easy? I don't know. He makes it sound pretty easy. But anyways, I just ran into him here at the Starbucks, and it was just hilarious because we keep running into each other in big Mexican cities and in Dublin, right? Go figure. All right, I got my continuous line book here, and I'm going to do some line warm-ups before my Zoom class this morning. I'm high as a kite because I was just laughing my head off with him. And it's Monday morning, and I'm feeling good and feeling happy to be out here on the streets on a beautiful day here in San Miguel. Can you see that? No. This table's too short, so I'm not even going to mess with that. So what you need for this is you need a Bic pen in case you don't have one, and you just need your regular old copy paper. We don't use expensive paper here because that's how you grow resentments towards paper, right? So, you know, if you use the good stuff for this, because I go through a lot of this, I do a lot of line warm-ups. I try to do it every day. Sometimes I miss it, like yesterday. Yesterday I got up super early and went out to the Lord of the Column was arriving from Atotonilco. It's this beautiful, somber pilgrimage that happens, right? It's not the kickoff of the Easter processions. Well, maybe it is. No, I'm sure there's probably, anyways, it's kind of the big one. It's the big guy arrives from Atotonilco, and you know, he arrives at sunrise, and I've seen it a few times. It's always it's not like moving, like, it's children crying as they're singing, and so it's very like grief. It sounds like a funeral, because that's what they're getting ready for, right? They're getting ready for Jesus's funeral and his death, then his funeral, right? This Friday is the altar of is Viernes de Dolores, so it's literally the whole town is full of the weeping altars of Jesus's mother, and so you get to walk around San Miguel and look at these altars that are being built in people's homes, right? It's part of their homes down here in center of San Miguel, and you're invited in to take a look at it, and they give you popsicles, because historically it's always been kind of warm. I don't know if that's how the popsicles, I'm sure there's a meaning to the popsicles, but they give you popsicles and you get to come inside and look at their, you know, kind of sad altars, but beautiful, right? So how did I get on this subject? I don't remember, except that, oh yeah, I got up early to see the arrival of El Señor de la Coloma. It's Lord of the Column, Señor de la Colima. I don't know why that's a hard word. Anyway, so that was early morning shenanigans. Thank God I was able to get an Uber at, I don't know, it was before 6 a.m. And so I didn't get to my line warm-ups yesterday. That's all right. It's not like, you know, I try to do them every day. You know why? Because it's like my vitamins for drawing. My continuous lines warm-ups are literally my vitamins for drawing. And people say, what the heck does that mean? Well, I'm telling you, what I do in my continuous line warm-ups is I don't draw anything. I just literally make lines on the page. I should have my binder clip on the page to hold the paper down. And I literally just do this, right? And you go, oh my God, how boring is that? Well, maybe it's a little boring, but it's also skill building, because it, you know, these lines have collisions, these lines have wobbles. When I stop to get a sip of coffee, because you're able to break your line for coffee, to pet a dog, to laugh, to cry, to itch your ear. Whatever you may need to do, it's okay to break your line, even if you're drawing, right? Like, we're not a group of like continuous line Nazis where you can, you know, you're going to be arrested if you break your line. It's honestly, the continuous line is a skill building tool. And in my experience of not only my own experience of drawing, but what I've witnessed in other people who have incorporated this into their drawing practice, is that it, first of all, allows people to push through their drawing fears, because they're like, what the heck, I don't care if I can draw this thing or not, I'm just going to keep drawing it, right? Because honestly, it doesn't matter, and nobody cares. Nobody cares if you can draw. Nobody cares if you can draw that dog. Nobody cares if you can draw that pot and that plant and those arches and those trees and those people. Nobody cares, right? I mean, if someone's paying you to draw, well, then they're going to care, right? But if you're just drawing as like a hobby, as you're an urban sketcher, if it's your side gig or what, well, if it's your side gig, like I have classes, so I kind of have to be able to do something. And I'm always working on doing something, right? It's a never-ending journey, right? Being an artist, it's not like we arrive. Oh, okay, now I'm done. Well, I suppose some people feel like they're done, and that's where their style gets, it just stays the same, right? And I'm not knocking that, because some people may get paid very handsomely for that style that stays the same, right? I don't know that I could ever be stagnant like that. I mean, I've been in San Miguel 2 weeks and I'm ready to move. I'm so bored here. It's a very small town, and I'm just like, oh my God, what am I doing here? I want to go to Dublin with Raoul and his husband and look for an Irish husband. I want to go to Mexico City. I want to go be in the anthropology museum and be surrounded by all that history and all those ancient civilizations, and be reminded of how small and meaningless I am, and this world is, right? Like, this is all over in just a blink of the eye, right? And that's one of the reasons why I loved going to the anthropology. I love going to museums, period. There's no museums here in San Miguel. Even Guanajuato has a million more cool little museums. There's nothing here in San Miguel. I'm not going to knock on San Miguel, because it's got its own highlights, right? I mean, a lot of people love this city, love to be living here, love to be living life here. And, you know, I've certainly have had my time where I've loved it, but now I'm kind of like, yeah, been here, done that, right? I'm a little bored with everything, and I just moved back here. So, you know, more to be revealed there. So it is a cool little town. I just find that there's not a whole lot to do, and I'm already getting antsy. But the good news is I have some travel plans, and I will be hitting the road, and I've got some cool experiences to do. So what was I saying? Oh, yeah, being in museums, right? Like, that's one of the most amazing things about Mexico City was their museums and their culture and their art and the history and just, you know, the opportunities for learning. I was much more fascinated by Mexican history than United States. I mean, I guess maybe because United States history is so far away. It's a young country, a young, struggling country. But, you know, like in Mexico City, the history is right in front of you, right? Like the pyramids are right there, and the Aztec snakes bursting out of the concrete is right there. And, you know, a lot of the history and the struggle is right there. And it's not a perfect city. It's a city that's going through a great transformation, just like the rest of the world. My God, the whole world is going through big transformations. Hey, did you hear Putin won yesterday? Shocking, right? And what is going on with the royals? Oh my God, we're on Royal Watch today. did Charles die? Is Kate dead? Where are the children, right? And sort of joking aside about the royals, it's probably high time for that monarchy system to end, but I don't envy those people born into it. I mean, I don't like them necessarily, but who would want to be born into a world like that, right? Like, nothing about it seems nice, right? It's all a charade. I mean, yes, there's money. Money, 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 money. I was married to a rich guy. Money does not solve the problems. If anything, it just made it more complicated because the problems were bigger, more spread out, and more people were, not me, but more people were after him because of all the money he had. And everyone wanted a piece of him, right? Like, it was a constant. The doorbell rang all day because people were looking for something, right? And that's just sort of metaphorically, the doorbell rang all day, but there was, we're talking about big money, and so people are kind of pecking away at you, right? And I'm not saying I want to be poor to avoid all that, but that was like big money, right? And so you can only imagine the royals. That's just what a nightmare the whole thing is, right? What a nightmare. And we have to hear about it and learn about it. But anyways, I hope Kate and the kids are okay. I hope Harry and Meagan are okay. Where's my binder clip? Okay, so I've gotten through my page already just as I'm talking, right? Like, my continuous line is my morning pages. If you're familiar with Julia Cameron's The Artist Way, morning pages are a way just to kind of get the junk out of my head, right? And so while I don't do those morning pages the way Julia Cameron prescribes it, but these continuous lines are my morning page activity because it's a centering device. It helps me to get centered. And you know what I was thinking this weekend? I think I'm going to stop doing these live streams. I think I love them. But I don't know if they're if people are even watching them or anything. So I may kind of wrap them up this month and, maybe find something new to replace it with. Maybe that's just part of my whole thing of I get bored very quickly and want to move on to other things. But, sometimes if I feel like something is not useful, I'm going to stop doing it, right? Not only not useful to me, but not useful to the community. And honestly, it's useful to me, so that's why I'm sort of teetering here, because this is actually useful to me because I like to have, it's a way for me to remember to do my line warm-ups, right? If I have to be on camera. No, I don't have a gun pointing at my head. No one's telling me you have to be on camera, right? Not YouTube, not Google, no one is telling me that, not Instagram, no one is putting a gun to my head and saying, yes, we need to see more, need to see and hear more of you, Meagan. No one is saying that at all. I promise you that. But I am trying to build my own empire, right? And so with that, you kind of have to throw everything out there. You got to do it. You got to be I'm not on every platform because I don't have the wheelhouse for that, as they say. I don't want to be. I got rid of TikTok. I just, I know TikTok is good for some things, but I just couldn't stand the noise. I could barely stand the noise of Instagram, and Instagram is I feel like anytime I post something there, it gets, like a lot of people, right? It just doesn't, I used to get a lot more action a few years ago, and I've heard a number of people saying that too. So they beat it into us that we have to do reels, right? Which require production and editing and music, and you got to have everything moving fast. You can't be slow. They just, they beat it into us that we have to have, 11-minute videos. And they just announced last week that they're bringing back 3-minute videos. And I'm like, they've just beat us all into creating 11-second videos. And now we're supposed to do a 3-minute. That's like going from a 1-minute documentary to a 3-hour documentary. And I'm sorry, I don't have the bandwidth or the wheelhouse for that. Well, I'm going to get all the words in there. So I'm just going to circle back here and just focus on what is important and what I like to do. I do like making the videos, right? I have fun with it. I like making the reels, even though I know some people see it, but you know, I get like 12 likes or 20 likes, and I'm like, damn. And, you know, whatever. You got to get over that part of it, because if we attach our self-worth to social media, we're never going to get out of the house or out of bed, right? Because that's a dangerous place. I mean, we all do it, right? How can we not? Oh, my drawing only got, you know, 4 likes, or, oh, my drawing got 400 likes. Amazing, right? I must be so good. And then the next one gets nothing. I did a reel for the Rancho, and it got 120,000 views, and it got like, I think it was, last I checked, it was like 1,300 likes. And first of all, nobody, I never get that sort of interaction, right? And I was like, what the heck is going on? And I feel, here's my feelings again, I feel like they throw us a little bone every now and again so we don't completely give up, right? Like every once in a while something kind of takes off and gets a little bit more action. And so it makes us feel like, okay, I'm doing the right thing. Just keep doing it. Just keep doing it. Well, the thing about that, there is no formula. There is no one path that gets you the satisfaction. First of all, there is no satisfaction there. There's no satisfaction to be had in the world of social media, because it's never ending, and it's never ending, and it's we're always going to look like there's always a sense of like not being enough, right? Even people, I've talked to people who have like thousands and thousands of followers, and they feel like they're not enough too, right? So this is how they've designed it, to make us feel bad. And so what is my point here? My point is I'm going to try to find something new, a new way of doing it, right? Like, I kind of like doing these live streams, but I don't think they're being well received. And so I'm going to change things up a little bit, right? Whatever. We'll see how it goes. Maybe I'll start, doing actual drawing demos. That's a little bit more technically, I mean, I could do them, but it just takes more technical chops and technical equipment, and I don't think I can do it out here on the street because, I like to do these things out on the street where I'm sort of an open, not a target, because I suppose I am a target, but I've never had anything bad happen. I've been doing live streams all over Mexico, and it's always, worked out pretty well. And so if I just go right now to drawing demos, that's a lot more technical. I got to get a bigger camera on, more security stuff, blah, 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 blah. Anyways, so in the meantime, I'm just going to keep doing this for today, I guess. Just for today, I'm going to focus on today, right? Just for today, I'm doing my live stream where I'm going to go easy on myself and easy on others, right? Because everyone out there, it's a stressful planet, right? It's a totally stressful planet. Politically, just whatever you see, whatever you hear, it's stressful, right? I think no matter what side of anything that you're on, it's stressful, right? I mean, bloodbaths, right? Get ready for bloodbaths. Here they come. Oh my God. And so you just got to remember just to go easy on yourself and easy on others, because I think a lot of us are confused and overwhelmed by the state and the direction of the world, right? There's a lot of things happening very quickly, right? And it can be super stressful. This is why I draw, because I just, as a way to sort of like take my mind off of the chaos of the world, because when I draw, I'm removed from the noise, and I just draw, and I like it. I feel good. It makes me feel better. It makes me feel like, at this point I have some drawing chops, and so not always, but usually I can, even if I at some point kind of wreck a drawing, I have ways where I can like rescue it, even if it's through my saturated inks, or my watercolors, or just throwing it in a fire. Sometimes the best thing to do is just walk away from a drawing that you don't like, right? They don't all have to be saved. They really don't. You can let some of them go. But at this point, this stage of the game, I have some chops where I can rescue a drawing, and but then I quickly move on, right? Because I don't get too attached to any one drawing. They go into a box after I draw them. So anyways, go easy on yourself, go easy on others. It's Monday morning. I'm going to spend the week looking for an Irishman I can marry. Is he here? I don't think so. I don't even think, did I meet one when I was in? No, just like here in Mexico, they're all married. All those Catholics get married. Anyways, okay. Go easy on yourself, go easy on others, right? Here is my hearts to finish up my continuous line. That's like the oven, the woven oven mitt that we did when we were kids, right? So, and then to go easy on myself and go easy on others as a way to remind myself that we're all kind of struggling our way through things, and drawing is a great way to kind of help us alleviate the stress of the world, right? It's not going to solve all the problems, but it does help. And that's what I'm here. I'm here to encourage others to draw and to feel better about themselves in a sea of a lot of chaos, in a maddening world of a lot of chaos. And there's more to come. There's much more to come. So do the thing that makes you feel better. Do the thing. Is it drawing? Is it gardening? Is it biking? Is it, what is it, right? Marrying an Irishman? That's going to be my focus now, okay? All right, everyone, have a great day, and I'll see those of you in the Zoom class. I'll see you there shortly. Okay, bye!